everyone, it's Milmel here and I am back for another roadmap mission. This is a repeat of one we have had previously, and that is Mart. Now, if you remember, this was all a storyline about Rosita's background story and having it tough. You didn't get too much information on it, but she was just trying desperately to save these Swedes that were in trouble that end up dying in the end, which is sort of the way it seems to go with The Walking Dead. But basically, the most exciting part about doing this stage, and the reason I wanted to do it, is not for the elite gear and the ultra rare gear you get at the end, but is for this new zombie team I'm trying out, and that is led by Kenny, that you'll see there with the plus 36 crit for all ranged. And then I've just brought in Richard, who has the plus 25 rush, also Carl because he is one of my newer players, and then Connor with the plus 35 crit rush, and then Sophia who has the plus 20 crit rush. Now, as you've just seen with the weapons, the majority of them have plus 30 crit weapons, so that was Carl, Richard and also Connor all have plus 30 crit weapons. I could have gave Kenny a plus 30 crit weapon, just like Carl, the scoped rifle, but I actually want to keep him paired up with his gun just for now. I'm not really concerned about their crit count at the moment. I think that plus 15 crit of his gun is more than enough for him to be able to headshot his way through the stage. And then of course Sophia just had the plus 20 crit. So essentially we do the maths when it comes to that regard. The lowest crit count we're going to have when Connor's rush is going off there with the plus 35 is Kenny, who will have 86 crit on him. Sophia will have 91 crit count, and the rest will have the 101 crit count. I'm not including the allies on that, I'm just including my guys. The allies will still have a solid amount of crit as well, depending on who they are and what sort of weapons they have. Now, what I'm going to try and do is keep the integrity of that all ranged plus 36 crit leader skill and make sure my allies are all ranged, just so they're still getting that plus 36 crit. Now, really, this is going to be the best example I can sort of give you guys. Now, I know I continuously say, and I'm always repeating myself saying how important crit is when it comes to zombies. I always say your team grade is irrelevant, which honestly, as you see in B++ team, was far below the recommended team grade of the S1, and they are flying through these stages with their headshots. Now, I've always emphasised the importance of crit over team grade when it comes to zombies, and this would be the best example. As I said earlier with them crit stats, like 101 crit, the lowest is going to be 86 crit. That is absolutely brutal when it comes to zombies, and that is going to headshot the majority of the time. 4+ are going to be a headshot in every turn. The reason why I'm going to once again yarn on about the irrelevance of team grade and the importance of crit is just basically because the amount of questions I get from people struggling with zombie stages and thinking that their team grade is why they're struggling and things like that. It's not your team grade, it's your crit. You need your crit count to be high. Like I said, these guys are B++ team, and they will fly through these stages just simply because the amount of crit they are getting from that leader skill and also the weapons and those rushes. This is probably an extreme example, thinking that it's getting the maximum leader skill you can get in this game currently with the plus 36 crit. Also, it is getting the maximum crit rush that you can currently get in this game with Connors at plus 35. So if you put them two together, and then they've got the majority of them have weapons that are at the maximum plus 30 crit weapon count. Now, if you think about that, this team is almost got top-notch crit count on everything, so the amount of headshots they're doing should be a lot, and essentially it should almost be 4+ every turn. Now, this, like I said, this is a bit extreme, the amount of crit this team has, so I don't want you to get discouraged by that, but I also don't want you to get your hopes up too much. I'm just trying to, I guess, show a solid example of the irrelevance of your team grade, but the importance of your crit when it comes to zombies. Like I said, this team is pretty much top notch in regard to the crit count they're getting, but it doesn't mean you guys can't still build a very solid teams with 50+ crit or 60 crit or 70 crit and still fly through these stages and have a team grade at A or A+ or something like that, or even B++. It's not about your team grade, it's all about that crit. Now, this team is absolutely amazing, craptastic in regards to team grade, but crit count, they are brutal. and they will continually headshot their way through any zombie horde, and I guarantee that. And that's just purely because of the amount of crit count they have. This, like I said, this is the best example I can give you of crit count versus your team grade, and that is the main reason why I'm using this team. I could have brought in a much higher team grade, but I just wanted to emphasise the need for crit rather than team grade. Like I always say, make sure you're maximising your crit in regards to your team leader. You want the highest crit leader you can get, and then you want crit rushes to back that up, high crit weapons to also back that up, and you want sharpshooters. As you can see, I've not used any sharpshooters to boost my crit. I don't feel the need, but you have all them options to boost your crit, and that's what you want to use. You want to be making sure you're maximising your crit for your team like this, because you could have an S1 team with a nice crit bonus there and nice crit weapons, but they will struggle, and then you can have an A+ team with a much higher crit count that will just fly through. So just be wary of that. I always think newer players struggle with that concept of crit count over team grades, and I guess this is just sort of what I want to emphasize within this video, is the importance of that crit. I always say it, but this is the best example I can give visually, and it is a great zombie killing combination I have here, just due to the amount of crit they've got. Hopefully this video has made it a bit clearer to you guys, the importance of crit over team grade. As always, I am here to answer questions, but hopefully you've enjoyed, I guess, watching this B++ team just murder these zombies. As always, thanks for watching.